Jackie Chan doesn't remember the sound first. He remembers the silence. Not the quiet of a film set waiting for action. Not the respectful hush before a stunt. This silence is different. It's the kind that comes when something has already gone wrong, and no one knows what to do next. And only a handful of people are there to witness it. Hong Kong, late 1970s. This isn't a movie set. No cameras. No lights. No audience. Just a private training warehouse on the edge of the city. Concrete floors scarred by decades of use. Steel beams overhead. The smell of rust, sweat, and old oil hanging in the air. This is where serious people come to test things they don't want filmed. Jackie Chan is here after midnight. Not for publicity. Not for ego. For answers. At this point in his career, Jackie is in transition. He's already known as fearless. Known for doing his own stunts. Known for pushing limits. But inside he feels something isn't complete. His body can do extraordinary things, but he wants to know how it holds up when control disappears. Film sets are predictable. Real life isn't. So he comes here. Quietly. With fewer than 10 people present. There are 8 men in the room. No spectators. No trainees. No casual observers. Every person here has been vetted. All experienced fighters, stunt performers, or coordinators. Men who understand pain, timing, and consequence. Men who know when to step in and when to stay back. One of them locks the door. Another checks the lights. No one speaks much. This isn't a challenge. It's a test. Jackie removes his jacket and sets it on a crate. He rolls his shoulders once, loosening tension, breathing slow. His expression is calm, but his eyes are alert. He's listening to the room. To the way sound travels. To the way the concrete feels under his feet. Across from him stands a man he's trained with before. Not a star. Not famous. Just dangerous. A man known for realism. No choreography. No puringues triques. No mercy for mistakes. They aren't enemies. But tonight they aren't friends either. Tonight they're variables. Someone asks quietly, rules? Jackie shakes his head. No rules, he says. But no ego. The other man nods. That's understood. This isn't about winning. It's about discovering what breaks first: technique, conditioning, or decision-making. They begin slowly. Circling. Testing distance. Jackie keeps his hands relaxed, open. His stance is fluid, adaptable. He's not committing yet. The other man probes with a low kick. Jackie checks it easily. Another probe. A feint. Jackie adjusts. Everything feels controlled. Familiar. Almost comfortable. That's when it changes. The other man closes distance abruptly. No warning. No setup. A hard collision of bodies. Jackie absorbs it instinctively, pivots, tries to angle out, but the footing betrays him. Concrete doesn't forgive the way mats do. His foot slips just enough to matter. In that fraction of a second, Jackie loses ideal position. And the other man capitalizes. The strike isn't flashy. It isn't cinematic. It's ugly. A short, tight blow that lands where choreography never aims. Jackie feels the shock ripple through his torso before his brain fully processes it. His breath leaves him in a sharp burst. Not dramatic. Just gone. He steps back, instinctively creating space. But space doesn't come. The other man stays on him. Relentless. Jackie blocks. Redirects. Moves. But now everything costs more. His timing is still sharp, but his margin is gone. He realizes something critical in real time. This is no longer controlled. This is real danger. One of the witnesses shifts his weight. Another tightens his jaw. No one intervenes. Not yet. Because Jackie hasn't signaled. And because everyone in the room knows, interrupting too early teaches nothing. The next exchange is worse. Jackie attempts to counter and misjudges distance by inches. The other man's forearm collides with Jackie's shoulder at an angle that sends pain shooting down his arm. For the first time, Jackie feels something unfamiliar. Uncertainty. Not fear. Calculation strain. His body is giving him data faster than his mind can process. They separate briefly. Jackie forces air back into his lungs, slow, controlled, refusing to panic. The other man watches him carefully now. Not aggressive. Assessing. He knows Jackie is hurt. And that knowledge is dangerous. Jackie adjusts his stance, changes rhythm. He's no longer testing. He's surviving. This isn't about discovering weakness anymore. It's about not making another mistake. The next clash is violent. Bodies collide again. But this time Jackie anticipates the pressure. He shifts earlier, absorbs less force, redirects the momentum just enough to stay upright. But the cost is high. Pain is everywhere now: shoulder, ribs, hip. Nothing catastrophic, but enough to slow reaction time. Enough to threaten the line between control and collapse. One of the witnesses finally speaks. Jackie. Not loud. Just enough. A warning. Jackie hears it. But he doesn't stop. Because he understands something crucial in that moment. This is the point. This is where truth lives. The other man attacks again. Jackie moves inside the strike, not away. He risks it. Closes distance. Crowds the space. The move is dangerous but calculated. He ties up the arms, disrupts balance, and forces separation. They break apart. Both breathing hard now. Sweat dripping. No one speaks. Jackie raises a hand. Just slightly. The signal. The test ends. Immediately the room exhales. Someone steps forward. Another hands Jackie a towel. But Jackie doesn't sit. He stands there, breathing, eyes closed briefly, absorbing everything his body is telling him. Are you okay? Someone asks. Jackie nods. Yes, he says. Then adds quietly. But I learned something. The other man bows. Deeply. Not as apology. As respect. Jackie bows back. No one celebrates. No one brags. This wasn't a victory. It was information. And everyone there understands how rare that is. Later, as they unlock the door and step into the night, one of the witnesses says something that sticks with Jackie. If there were cameras, the man says, people would misunderstand what that was. Jackie agrees. That's why there weren't any. That night changes how Jackie approaches danger. Not immediately. Not obviously. But permanently. Because for the first time he experienced real risk without performance, without narrative, without safety framing. And he walked away knowing exactly how thin the margin truly is. Years later, people would talk about Jackie Chan's fearlessness, his injuries, his willingness to push further than anyone else. But fewer than 10 people would ever know about this night. About the moment when off camera, away from fame, Jackie Chan stood closer to real danger than he ever had before. And learned something no audience could ever see. Jackie doesn't sleep much that night. Not because of pain, though his body aches everywhere it shouldn't. The shoulder throbs dully. His ribs protest every deep breath. A bruise is already blooming along his hip, dark and spreading. Pain is familiar. What keeps him awake is clarity. He lies on a thin mattress in a quiet room, staring at the ceiling, replaying the exchanges frame by frame. Not as scenes but as data. Where his foot slipped. Where his timing narrowed. Where control almost left him entirely. He realizes something unsettling. On camera, danger can be shaped. Off camera, it doesn't care who you are. The next morning, Jackie returns to the warehouse alone. The others don't know he's coming. There's no test scheduled. No audience, however small. He stands on the same concrete floor where the night before nearly crossed a line he can't uncross. He walks the space slowly, deliberately, feeling the uneven patches, the subtle slopes, the places where dust collects and traction disappears. This is what almost got him. Not skill. Not strength. Environment. Jackie kneels and presses his palm flat against the concrete. This, he says quietly to himself, is real. Film sets cushion danger in ways people rarely think about. Mats hidden just out of frame. Rehearsed angles. Partners trained to react predictably. Last night had none of that. And that's why it mattered. Over the following weeks, something changes in Jackie's training. Not visibly, but fundamentally. He doesn't abandon stunts. He doesn't become cautious. He doesn't pull back from risk. He refines it. He trains more in unstable environments. Bare floors. Tight spaces. Poor lighting. He deliberately removes comfort from practice so that comfort never becomes a requirement. He also starts saying no more often. Not to danger, to unnecessary danger. If a stunt doesn't add truth, he questions it. If a movement exists only to impress, he discards it. That surprises people. Jackie Chan, the man known for pushing further than anyone else, begins pushing smarter. Years later, a young stunt performer asks him something during training. "You're not afraid of getting hurt?" the man asks. Jackie thinks for a moment. "I'm afraid of not knowing," he says. He explains that fear isn't the enemy. Ignorance is. Lasting confidence doesn't come from believing you're invincible. It comes from knowing exactly where you're vulnerable. That night in the warehouse gave him that knowledge. At a price. The man Jackie faced that night never speaks publicly about it. Neither do the witnesses. There's an unspoken agreement among them. That moment wasn't for stories. It was for understanding. They all know how close it came to something irreversible. They all felt the shift when the test crossed into danger. And they all respect Jackie more for stopping it when he did. As Jackie's career grows, people begin to mythologize him. They talk about his injuries, his fearlessness, his refusal to use doubles. They assume recklessness. They're wrong. Jackie doesn't chase danger. He studies it. That difference is why he lasts. Much later in life, Jackie is asked in an interview about the most dangerous moment of his career. People expect him to talk about broken bones, about visible scars, about famous stunts everyone knows. He pauses, then smiles politely. "There was something else," he says. He doesn't elaborate, because he knows the truth wouldn't make sense without context. Because danger without spectacle doesn't translate well. What Jackie learned that night wasn't how to fight better. It was how easily circumstances can strip control away. How thin the margin really is. How confidence, if left unchecked, becomes liability. And how discipline, real discipline, means knowing when to step into risk and when to pull back from it. The warehouse eventually closes. The concrete floor gets covered by dust and time. The echoes fade. But the lesson stays. It shows up in Jackie's choices, in how he designs sequences, in how he protects co-stars, in how he insists on preparation even when people think he doesn't need it anymore. Especially then. Only a handful of people ever saw Jackie Chan face real danger without cameras. No uploads. No edits. No safety framing. Just consequence. And because of that night, millions of people later see something different on screen, even if they can't explain it. They feel it. The control. The awareness. The authenticity. Jackie Chan didn't become a legend by believing he was untouchable. He became one by discovering exactly how close he could get to danger, and choosing to walk away with what he learned instead of pushing until nothing was left. Fewer than 10 people witnessed it, but everything that followed carried its weight.